Okay, here we go. You ready? So I'm here with Joe Brazier. He's a teacher here at Twin Falls Middle School. He was involved in our special ed iPad pilot group that we had last year, and he's going to show you kind of the process he uses for searching for an app and then downloading the app to iTunes and then syncing onto all of his iPads that he has. So thanks for being willing to do this, Joe.
Absolutely. Okay. So as far as searching for and finding an app, what you want to do is you want to open up your iTunes and go to your iTunes store on the left side of the menu over here. Once you do that, you can click on the App Store, and that's where you'll find all kinds of apps. If you use the drop-down window, you can find different categories. So I'm going to just pick a news app, and then I'm going to scroll down on the right in order to show an example, to find the free apps and just find a free one. What I'll do next is find one. They all say they're free, so I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to pick the Huffington Post, and I'm going to click where it says free. Now on the left side it should show it downloading. That's the app downloading. It takes a few seconds. And then once I've done that, I will go and I'll plug in my iPads to the ports. All of mine are sitting in the box ready to get synced, and I'm just going to plug them in. You can hear them connecting and turning on. Okay, so those are all.
Did you just make sure they were all turned on?
Yeah,
there?
I just made sure that they were all in.
And then you had already previously connected them to the USB hub as well.
They're connected into, I don't even know what that's called. That's just a USB splitter, which goes into the USB port. So this is the power for this, right?
It's called a powered USB hub.
Yeah. Powered USB hub. So they can all be plugged into here and just use one USB port in the actual computer.
Yep.
So they're all plugged into the computer. And they've all shown up right here. And the little circulating icon means that they're all syncing.
Nice.
Okay. So they're all being prepared and synchronizing. If I click on one of them, it shows it, its properties and everything, how much memory is left on it, and it's all of its properties. And you can go to the top and pick on specific things you want it to synchronize.
So I see right now it's saying copying. I saw that it said copying the US or whatever app that you had downloaded. I think it was.
And they'll also make sure that any that have been put on from the iPads are now on the iTunes on your computer.
So does that first
talks
transfers those purchases from each individual iPad first?
Yes. And then it does its best to move them around to put it on all the devices.
So is it just automatically running through each of the devices individually?
Yes.
You don't have to go into each one and...
No, you don't.
Did you have to adjust a setting initially to do that? Did you select like automatic sync or something?
I think so. So like in apps, if you go into the apps, you can make a selection to download new apps automatically.
Yeah, I think so.
It's right here at the bottom. Yeah. So it'll automatically sync any new apps that are purchased from the computer or from another iPad. That way they all can just have them all onto all the iPads, whatever you find. So if one of my other aides finds something that works for one of their students, we can try it out on anybody else, and they can see how it responds to them.
So what do you do next? Once they're all synced, then what do we do? That's it?
Once they're all synced, that's it. I mean, you can mess around with them individually on the computer. I've had my aides who might work with one specifically organize those apps for the students they work with. Some of them create folders with specific students' names. Or
you've had them do that on the computer from iTunes
on their
or
iPads,
on the devices?
So when they get around to having them and mess them so they can find them.
Can you kind of choose one of those devices and kind of show how it's organized?
Yes.
If they're all done.
They've all synced. So there is one I can show you. Here's one that is for Dylan. This one's very specific. So he has this one organized. Some flashcards for Dylan, things Dylan likes to do for recreation, instructor-specific ones that he uses spelling, matching games he likes, some reading book apps, different drawings, some other instructional ones, or ones for the instructor, and also some sorting ones. We've added a lot of apps here for Dylan. He has a specific timer that he uses that Dylan recognizes and uses. He does take notes that we send to his consultant on Evernote,
Nice.
and he has Netflix here for videos and things that Dylan does choose to watch. So he's gone through and he's organized the apps into different.
So do you have your apps organized differently on each iPad, or is it the same folders on each iPad?
Well, I have two aides, and one has his organized in one way, and another one I let her organize hers so she can find certain apps for students she works with. But the other ones I've tried to make kind of uniform so that any student can pick one up and use it.
Right.
I at least have the first page. On the other ones, the same. I found kids were wasting time trying to find a specific one, so I made them all the same. The bottom bar is the same, and this first page, everything on there has all the same apps on them. So, in videos and things. So they have a dictionary, there's a calculator, in your reminders that can actually pop up reminders for assignments that are due in a certain class, and a calendar so they can check the school calendar or my class calendar or internet access. So just some basic ones in the front for them to be able to go to. And they also have a timer, a different one.
So are you using the Reminders app?
I have it for some things that I want Darren to do on Fridays. We have it for a shopping list if any of them figure out things that we're missing that I need to go get. I've only kind of started using it for things that I need students to remember or assignments turned in, so that maybe it'll.
Are you syncing that with Outlook?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So
No,
you're
I've
just
done some
going
extra
into each
things.
of the individual.
No, I've done some extra things. I created a cloud account.
Okay.
I-
So
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's the best cloud
Right.
computing thing for.
okay. But the point is that you have
The point is that-
you have a basic sort of
I have a basic layout.
organization for each
For the
iPad.
front of my main iPads.
But it sounds like this one was different based on the person who's using
that
it.
one is rarely in my classroom because that's with a specific student.
Got it.
Even the one that my other aide uses because she's in here quite a bit. The front page is the same and she's organized the rest of it.
Okay. Great. Any other tips and tricks you might have for these guys?
Maybe some more advanced ones later on. But
Okay.
once you can add your apps and get them organized, that's a huge step.
Yeah.
So once we get past that, it can get really easy and a lot of fun after that.
Awesome. Thanks.
Mhm.